Hi, my name is Lauren Tam, and I'm an education consultant with Usborne Books and More. And today I want to talk about, I guess, what would be a new series. This book is not very new. It's been around for a while, and I love it. I've done a book overview on video in the past, so go ahead and check it out because it's a phenomenal book. I got this whole process started. So the next book is Write and Draw Your Own Comics. This came out, I want to say, last year. Phenomenal book for those kids who like comics. It has stickers in it. It talks about, how to draw your characters and your plots and your stories. It even has the little, the little bubbles, speech bubbles, as far as stickers go. So really cute book. What I'm really excited to share with you today, though, are our two brand new titles. Our brand new titles, the first one is Write Your Own Adventure Stories. Beautiful book. It's very similar to the Write Your Own Story book with an emphasis on adventure stories. So what it'll do is it'll talk about a little bit about planning a story, creating a character, showing and not telling, so getting into the action, how you start a story, the conflict and the resolution, creating your character, showing, not tell. So it even gives some examples. Usually on the sides they'll have some tips or vocabulary. This one is how to show. Here you can see how a couple of tells can be turned into much more interesting shows. So the tell is Joe was scared of heights. And the show is Joe looked down from the top of the skyscraper and immediately felt dizzy. And his legs wobbled and he thought he was going to faint. So that is showing you that he is scared of heights. So really great on getting kids to show what they're trying to say and write better stories. So here's the story writing section, and you have your own, table of contents, which is really cool. And then just going to do this really quickly. Here's an example. So this would be Race to the Summit. Two teams of mountaineers set out on a treacherous climb, racing to be the first humans ever to reach the top of Mount Peril. Will your hero get there first, or will his arch rival, Dan Devious, beat him? These pages have suggestions to help the different stages of your story as you go along. So it has heroes and villains. It says, introduce your hero, set up the scene, what happens to get the story started, does Dan Devious... It'll ask, questions to get your mind thinking along the same way. And here it's building up tension. Now, lots of different themes that they help you with. Here's something that says things to consider. Look it up, find out about a kind of animal. So doing your research. Animal words. So here's some great vocabulary. Lolloping, crawling, stalking, grunting, squeaking, howling, wary, cautious, bristling, alert. Just amazing, amazing, amazing book. Love it. And what's really exciting about this book and Write and Draw Your Own Comics is that these two are internet linked or internet referenced. So in the back of the book, it'll tell you to go to these links for the drawing your comics. I went and looked it up. The tips and tricks are the internet links are tips for drawing characters, online comic makers, and comics to look at for inspiration. So those are really cool. For the adventure stories, there were, hold on a second, tips for drawing character. No, that's the wrong one. That was the other one. There is writing a story outline, tips for choosing the right word, video guide, and there were a few more. So that's amazing, but I'm not done because I said there were two new ones. This one is great if you have some younger ones. This is great for 7-8-year-olds. My first story writing book, and this really is amazing. It has about the author. It talks about, let's see, I'll show you. Mixing and matching. So draw lines to match each word with the picture that it best describes. It's a little bit less writing and a little bit more of the thinking about organization and the words that you would use. Really, really great. I think my 8-year-old is gaga over it. So They have speech bubbles, and it says what those are. And here it says, "Roar, I'm starving, help, I'll spike you. Weeble, Zod, Flaw, fair maiden." Frog, so. Anyway, so then it has, this one is really cool. Fred the kitchen boy finds the king's crown. He needs to return it before the full moon, but it's a dangerous journey. So draw a line to take Fred to the king. Fred's route can be as long as or short as you like it. So there are different obstacles. Let me see if I can see it. There are different obstacles along the way. And so, and then here is use these words, phrases like these to link up the different parts of the journey. So it's already giving you some tips and tricks there. So, and then here is where you would write the story. So really, really neat. Very, very, very excited about this book. So again, there's not a whole lot. It's not very intimidating, but it's really getting your kids to understand the characters and building characters and descriptions and story planning, beginning, middles, and ending, and creating a conflict, because sometimes kids like to write stories and there's no conflict, so they kind of go on and on and on, and aren't as exciting as they think it is. In any case, those are the 4 write your own or write and draw your own books that we have, and they're phenomenal. I'm so excited we have 2 new editions.